Hi guys, Baz from Hognose UK. I've got a, I was going to say an interesting clutch to cut. I think it's interesting, but it's a bit unusual. I have a gene I've named the Frenzy. It looks a little bit like Blitz, a little bit like Trick. If you look on World of Ball Pythons, you'll see it's on there with the super version. I haven't. I think World of Ball Python stopped accepting entries. Put the super on there. Now I've made a super. Sorry, I haven't put the super pied on there. So there's the super Frenzy version of the pied, and the Frenzy pieds are really nice. So what I'll probably do in the near future is do you know, a little video on the Frenzy, show people what it is. So basically, I'm not going to call it a wild caught because it wasn't. I bought a snake from a gentleman in Dagenham, which was supposed to be a pastel leopard het pied. I grew him up and I produced pieds and het pieds from him, and when I was trying to sell them, people kept coming and saying, that's not a leopard, that's not a leopard. This was in the early days when I first started breeding ball pythons, when I sort of started to move over from colubrids a little bit. So I thought, well, if it's not a leopard, then I'll keep it and propagate it. So I've made a few bits and pieces with it. I've proved the super, and this is my first attempt at clowns. So I've got a couple of really nice Frenzy females growing on. They're also 50% het pied as well, because I used the pied to make them, and so that I had you know, all Frenzies basically. And I've got some really nice sized females, as I said, probably up to about 1500 now. So I will go Frenzy to Frenzy, see if I can make a Super Frenzy and a Super Frenzy clown again. I'll rephrase that. See if I can make a Super Frenzy and possibly a Super Frenzy clown. So without further ado, let's go and cut these eggs and see what I hit. So here we are. This is their first chance of producing the world's first Frenzy clowns. Today is the full term. They've gone full term. I'm working tomorrow, so today I'm going to cut them. Those of you who watch my videos will know I don't normally cut until they've pipped, but these have dipped in massively over the last 24 hours, and I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so I'm going to cut them today. So here we go, 7 chances. Chance number 1. Oh, wow, that's nice. I'm going to say that's a pastel Frenzy Raptor, but I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but that is bright sort of peachy orangey colour. Wow, could be interesting. It's unusual looking. It's not a clown, but it's something a bit different. Still quite a bit of goo in these. I think these probably would have gone on a few more days, but the blood. Whoa! Wow! Look at that. So there we have, and I can't say whether this is a Frenzy or not, but there's an absolutely stunning pastel clown of some description in there. Look at that, markings up the sides of that. Absolutely gorgeous. Egg number 3. So I'm really happy that I've hit a clown, but I'd really like one without any pastel in it, so I can see what the base morph looks like. And there we have one. Yeah, and I'm going to say that's Frenzy. That's got a really messed up back dorsal stripe. Really nice banding on the sides, which you don't normally get for a clown. Still quite a bit of yolk in there, so I'm not going to pull it about too much. But I think That is what I'm after. And there we have Pastel Frenzy, and again it's got that pinky hue to it. It's not as pink as that one was. But, I'm going to say that's a pastel, and looking at the sides, Pastel Raptor. That's a Pastel Raptor Frenzy, and it'll be 100% heck lamb. Look at these markings here, it's beautiful. Excuse my stomach. And there we have another one of those. And again, it's looking at peachy pinky colour. So got quite a few nice Frenzy het clowns. Be interested to see if they keep that colour. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it's quite unusual. It's a long time since I hatched any Frenzies. I can't remember if Frenzies are that pinky colour when they first hatch, but I don't think they are. And if I'm honest, I don't think I've ever made pastel Frenzies before, so. And there we have another clown. Wow, look at that. So there we have, you know, almost certain that's a Frenzy. The markings down the dorsal spine, and it's broken up, and it's got all the fingers going down the sides again like that one, so. Yeah, that's very nice. Obviously, can't really compare the attributes to a different clown until they're out of the egg. Last but not least is a giant egg. This thing's huge. And in here we have another clown. Oh, look at that. Wow. I say look at that, and I'm holding the camera down. The yoke's right up the top here. This umbilical cord stretched across, so I'm not really going to pull this one around. And I think that's a clown. Actually, it might not be. The head looked like it, but not sure. I'm not going to pull this one around because of where the umbilical cord is. You can see it there. It's not wrapped up at the moment, and but I need to keep an eye on this one. Yeah, actually I've changed my mind. I don't think that is a clown. No, I'm going to say that's a het. Well, 3 out of 7 sort of hit the odds. But that one there, I mean, you can clearly see that's not an ordinary clown, or nor is the other one. I think I've probably hit at least 2 Frenzy clowns. I'm not sure about this one. Looking at the markings of that, then I'm going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to go out on the limb and say that's a Pastel Raptor Frenzy clown, but we'll see when it's out. Stunning animal. So here they are all shed off. I don't have a normal looking Frenzy to show you, so I'll video the dad in a minute. So this one here has decided not to shed yet. You can see the pattern on them, you know what I was talking about being leopard-like at the beginning. You can see that's just not an ordinary pastel. So that's a Pastel Frenzy het clown. And then there's another Pastel Frenzy het clown. You see that it lends itself to a bit of banding, and you can see again, I don't know why. I think virtually everything in the whole clutch has turned out to be a Frenzy. That's definitely a Frenzy. That's quite an obvious Frenzy. And then there's this one here that I wasn't so sure about. But it's either influenced by the Frenzy, or it is a Frenzy. It'd be really weird for the whole clutch to have been Frenzies, because it wasn't Frenzy to Frenzy, so I don't really understand why they would all be Frenzies. But the marking on the back of the neck on that one, that's cool. I noticed that on one of the others as well. I must have been imagining that. So there's this one here, which I don't think he's a Frenzy, this one. I think he's just a pastel het clown. So maybe they're not all Frenzies. Don't know, it's hard to say. I find it hard to believe that the whole clutch would be Frenzies. And then we've got two Frenzy clowns. Now these are definitely Frenzies. These are very different from what I'd expect a normal clown to look like. The Frenzy has actually interrupted the black back, which is not that many genes that I've produced so far that can actually do that, or that actually does that. So there's lots of spots down the sides, spots within there, along the sides, some quite interesting patterns down towards the tail, so you don't see that on a normal clown. And they've got really cool head stamps, and the markings, the blocks behind the back of the head. It's quite cool. So while they are a new clown that's never been produced before, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure there isn't, because I've not released any Frenzies, I'm quite chuffed with how they come out. Now I've just got to find a nice combination to make them ping. There's the other one. It isn't pastel. The mother of these is actually a raptor, so we've got a lot more of this blushing up the sides. I'm holding it away from the camera. A lot more of this blushing up the sides, so I suspect this one has got quite a bit of raptor influence, whereas it's not obvious on that one. It's there, but it's nowhere near as enhanced as this one. And it'll have the checkering down the sides like it's a yellow belly. Yeah, look at that. So this one is actually a Frenzy raptor clown. Look at that head stamp, that's really cool. There's no real eye stripe at all on those. Which you wouldn't expect with clown anyway, but some of the awesome looking face. Look at those eyes. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful head stamp. So again, the black back is interrupted. It's not in so many places on this one. That's definitely, again, not a normal clown. Lots of spotting up the sides. Loads of this, I'd say influence from the raptor. I'd say if that one's a raptor clown, it's much less influenced than this one. Yeah. So, pair of Frenzy clowns there. I don't think I've sexed these actually. A little look what we've got. That one's a male. That's quite handy, so I can hopefully get on and propagate a few more. And that one's a male. This one, I'm pretty sure again, is a Frenzy clown, but it's got pastel on top. Always have to have at least one with pastel in it, don't I? Again, broken up the black back, just broken up the pattern on the back of the clown, broken it up quite nicely. Lots of spotting, again influence from the raptor up the sides. That side's even prettier. A lot of blushing up the sides, not so much checkering going on, but I think the pastel negates a bit of that anyway. Look at the markings behind that head. Awesome. So there you go, world first Frenzy clowns. So there you have it. They are different. They are not normal looking clowns. There is enough difference there for me to be able to differentiate between the Frenzy clown and the normal clown. Unfortunately, I've just made double het clown puzzles before I realised that you didn't get a different looking clown. So I've got a few pairs of double het puzzle clowns that I'm still going to go ahead and produce them. I think hopefully by the time I get them up to size to breed, someone would have worked out a nice combo to go with them to make them pop, which is exactly what I'm going to have to do with the Frenzy clown. I've got the three there. Obviously I really like the pastel one, but you know, people are still hating on pastel, unfortunately. I like the two that haven't got pastel also. I like the way the black marks broken up on it. They're quite spotty, and I like how dark they are. They're be interesting to see if they colour change once they get a few couple of 100 grams on them. So what I'm going to have to do is find something that really reacts with them and you know, makes them ping. So at the moment they're nice, but they're not anything sensational. But you know, when you're making new genes and proving stuff out that's wild caught, sometimes they're not obviously that different until you make something with them that makes them pop. And that'll be my job. I've got some beautiful blackhead frenzies, het pieds, so it'll be interesting to see how they come out. And a few other frenzy projects in the pipeline. So there you go, really nice clutch, world firsts again. I haven't released frenzy anywhere outside of my shed, they only exist in here. I don't know at what point I will let them go. I would like to produce another super before I 100% am confident that that is the super form that I made last time. And there we go, I am waffling as usual. If you like this video, please tick like. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. I'm getting close.